Good morning. The One Big Beautiful Bill is one big beautiful step closer to being signed into law. It took a tie-breaking vote to get it approved, just as Democrats had Vice President Kamala Harris take the Inflation Reduction Act over the top 3 years ago. Republicans opposed to the One Big Beautiful Bill were the expected Thom Tillis of North Carolina and Rand Paul of Kentucky, but also Susan Collins of Maine. That left all the pressure to be put on Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, who had to face reporter questions about how she managed to get her state a carve-out of the bill's new Medicaid and SNAP benefit reductions. All the while she maintained she doesn't like the bill. But her vote made for a 50-50 tie that was broken by Vice President J.D. Vance. President Trump was in Florida Tuesday when he learned about the approval and took some questions.
Are you saying that the estimated 11.8 million people who could lose their health coverage, that is all waste, fraud, and abuse?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's going to be a very much smaller number than that, and that number will be waste, fraud, and abuse. And if you look, they took a much more liberal stance on the Medicaid situation than they could have. They had a tough stance and a weak stance. They took not a very strong stance on that to start off, and it's waste, fraud, and abuse, and everybody wants that covered.
What number is that? What analysis are you seeing?
I'm not seeing a number, but I know it's much less than the number you gave.
The number ABC's Mary Bruce gave is from the Congressional Budget Office that also estimates Uncle Sam's deficits will grow an additional $3 to $4 billion at the very least over the period of the bill. The measure is now in the hands of the House again, and if President Trump is going to sign it by Friday, it will need to be rushed through the House as is. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is hoping that will be the case, but President Trump will be working the phones too, and if there is anybody who can be browbeaten by Donald Trump, it's a Republican in the House, with a couple stoic exceptions. But if some already leery Republicans refuse to swallow the Senate version whole, then the bill will have to go to some kind of compromise, and the July 4th signing would be delayed at least. With ear on the White House, I'm Bob Costantini.